Hi guys. Got a nice cup of tea. So we are testing out the new laptop because I didn't realize this one wanted to update. Once it goes into Windows update mode, it wouldn't let me use it. So I used the other one. Seemed to work okay. So we're back on this one. It's a bit chilly this morning in England, a bit overcast. Looks like it's going to rain. Now, of course, we are on defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth this morning, so I'm going to try and do a few lives today. I'm going to do hopefully a dog walk as well. Now, this morning we did on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, our other channel. We did a Marion Cook, Elvis's private nurse tribute. I thought it was lovely. It was an hour long. If you want to see that, guys, jump over to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, our other Elvis YouTube channel. Obviously, that's much more light-hearted over there. We tend to do just the fun stuff over there. Where obviously here at Defending Elvis, it's much more serious. We can get pretty serious, can't we, guys? I just want to raise the camera up a little bit. 1 second. Let's get it right. Okay. Right, that's a bit better. So I've got myself a nice cup of tea. Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me? That's number one. Let's have a thumbs up for hearing me. Hopefully the voice is synced up, my lips moving with my sound. So Lorna, Angie, can you hear me? I can test it on this phone as well. It does look like it's working. I'm just going to press play on the video just to see if it comes through.
With Elvis. An interesting story about love, desire, and the complicated side of fame is the one between Margret and Elvis Presley. They became closer while shooting Viva Las Vegas in 1963. This was the start of a relationship that would change both of their lives forever. They met for the first time on July 2nd, 1963 at MGM Studios in Hollywood. When they were given roles as co-stars in Viva Las Vegas, they hit it off right away. Later, Margret said that their first meeting was electric and that they could feel a current running through them both. Their personalities were a great fit. They were both shy.
My sound is better, the video is better. I'm hoping just generally all round the quality is much better now. So, okay, guys, now remember, we're still doing the whole fake Elvis channel thing. We're looking at this video by Rock and Roll History. We've been a bit disappointed by some of Rock and Roll History's portrayal of Elvis. We think it's very unfair. We think it's very much leans against Elvis and for Priscilla. We get the feeling this is more of a Priscilla channel. Now, you guys know, here at Defending Elvis Presley, we have strong views about Priscilla. We think Priscilla Presley has done a lot of wrong to Elvis. So I don't hate her. This isn't a Priscilla hate channel, but I do want to expose her wrongdoing. The reason we expose Priscilla's wrongdoing is so the world can see the true Elvis, the real man, and all the fake news, all the rubbish that is out there that is trashing Elvis. We are here to defend Elvis against that because he can't defend himself. So this does seem to be more of an Margret thing. So we don't know if Elvis is going to get trashed here. This may just be a bit of a just a nice video about Margret and Elvis and their relationship. We know it was complicated. It wasn't straightforward. Elvis was still with Priscilla, so it wasn't straightforward. Let's just listen to it, and between us, me and Team Elvis, let's decide for ourselves, is this fair to Elvis about Margret and Priscilla, or and Elvis, or is this unfair? I'm hoping it's going to be fine. So, one thing I have noticed on this channel is that a lot of the pictures and videos are really good. Tiny little clips of Elvis. And we do get to learn a lot on here about Margret. So let's just keep going, guys. So at the moment, this is going to be an Anne Margaret Elvis Presley video. Let's see what happens. Now, I have not watched this. So let's just see what happens. This is my first time and Team Elvis's first time. So rock and roll history. We're giving you a little reaction review. Fingers crossed. I hope it's okay.
This duality has become an integral part of who she is, a talented actress who has entertained audiences for decades while remaining grounded in her true self. As we continue exploring Anne Margaret's journey through Hollywood, it becomes clear that this balance between boldness and introversion has not only shaped her career, but has also endeared her to generations of fans who see their own struggles reflected in hers.
Now remember, I'm a massive fan of Anne Margaret. She's stunning, beautiful, talented. We know Elvis loved her. She truly loved Elvis. Obviously, she went on to get married and have a very fulfilled, very long marriage. But there's quite a mixed story concerning Elvis and Margaret. He really did love her. Was she right for him? Many people think she was. Many people think Elvis would have been much happier if he had married Anne Margaret. They were like two Elvises, weren't they? She was pizzazz. She was beautiful, talented, could dance, had the best personality, and very loyal as well. So let's keep listening, guys.
Margaret's relationship with Elvis. An interesting story about love, desire, and the complicated side of fame is the one between Anne Margaret and Elvis Presley. They became...
So let's see if the way this is portrayed to us, the public, is correct or not. Please leave in the comments if you think anything is right or wrong on this.
Closer while shooting Viva Las Vegas in 1963. This was the start of a relationship that would change both of their lives forever. They met for the first time on July 2nd, 1963 at MGM Studios in Hollywood.
There we are, look, July 2nd, 1963. We now know a date they met. Is that correct? At MGM Studios in Hollywood. Let's keep going.
They were given roles as co-stars in Viva Las Vegas. They hit it off right away. Later,
we all love Viva Las Vegas, yeah? Brilliant film. My daughter's favorite song is in this film.
Anne Margaret said that their first meeting was electric and that they could feel a current running through them both. Their personalities were...
Do you hear that? Their first meeting was electric. They could feel a current running through them both.
Were a great fit. They were both shy and lively, and they both loved music and performing. The rising fame of Anne Margaret from her previous movie, Bye Bye Birdie, made her a perfect match for the already famous king of rock and roll. And they quickly turned their work relationship into a loved one as they worked together. They were able to spend time together while making the movie, and they were drawn to each other in ways that went beyond desire. Their shared...
So, they're drawn together in a ways that went beyond desire. You know, we have to be sort of try and be open-minded. Elvis was still married, yeah? Actually, no, sorry. Let me get it right. No. They weren't married. They didn't get married till 67, May the 1st. I cancel out my mistake I said 4 minutes ago. Elvis was not married. They didn't get married till the 1st of May, 1967. They got engaged around Christmas, 66. But Elvis, you know, let's be open-minded. Priscilla had not long moved to Graceland. If any of my facts are incorrect, please put me right. I'm no expert at Elvis. I do get things wrong, as you just noticed. So we know that she visited Graceland 2 or 3 times in 62. Is that right? Please confirm. She eventually moves over when she's nearly 18, around 60. End of 62, 63. Yeah, put me right if I'm wrong. So I still feel that Elvis lived a single life. Even during the filming of Viva Las Vegas. Should we get some details up of Viva Las Vegas? Let's have a look, guys. We're going to learn as we go. Okay, let's have a look. Let's get it up. Team Elvis, we learn together. Let's get some details. It's just said the day they met. The joys of Google. Viva Las Vegas. Let's just see if it says anything about the film. So it says here 1964. Viva Las Vegas is a 1964 American rock and roll musical film directed by George Sidney. Okay. I wonder if it will say. Hang on. Let me just get this up. I wonder if it'll say if the dates of their meeting will match. Let's have a look. I'm very interested to know if there's a discrepancy. When did Margret and Margret meet Elvis? Let's see what it says, guys. So it says the two met at the beginning of July in 1963. Elvis was 28 and Margret was 22, and both were on top of the world. For the first time, Elvis and the Colonel had agreed to have a leading lady. Right, okay. Let's get. I just want to top up my tea. Okay, so I didn't know that. 1 second, guys. Just topping up my tea, guys. Okay. Okay. More milk. Okay. 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 Right, we're back. Obviously, I want to have a cup of tea with me because we're going to be here for half an hour, aren't we, guys? So let's have a nice cup of tea while we're sat together. I hope you guys have got your cups of tea. Let me just see who's with us. So I'm just going to chill out with you guys for half an hour and just enjoy Margret and Elvis together. Okay, let's see who we got. So there's 20 of us on. Hi, Julie's, Lorna, Josie. Yeah, Elvis never got engaged until and Elvis wasn't engaged or married during the making of the movie. Yeah, Josie, I did mix up my facts at the beginning. I've woke up. I've seen the lights. Hi, Dan. Okay, let's do it.
Shared experiences in show business made them feel like they were meant to be together. Elvis was Margret's soulmate, and she said that they knew each other better than anyone else. Their relationship was strong and emotional, with lots of playful banter and adoring gestures. Elvis was known for giving grand gifts, and he once had a round pink bed made just for Margret to show how much he was interested in pampering her. They liked to have fun together and often played sexy animal games, which showed how well they got along off screen as well. But there were times when things were hard in their relationship. Priscilla Beaulieu lived at Graceland, while Elvis was shot in California at the time. They were still together. Priscilla learned more and more about how well Elvis and Margret got along, which made her jealous and caused stress. Reports said that Priscilla threw...
So this thing about, obviously, Priscilla getting jealous, it's very clear. It's in a few movies, isn't it? The Sofia Coppola's Priscilla film obviously makes quite a big deal of it. Let's keep going.
Vases out of anger over their affair, which showed how emotionally unstable their relationship was. Elvis Presley's marriage to Priscilla...
I will say this, guys. Elvis in 63, even 64, no intention of being with just one lady, no intention of being faithful. Honestly, please don't shout at me for saying that. But Elvis, in the I would say after 56, right up until he got engaged, lived the way that he wanted to live, for many different reasons. Of course, Priscilla moving over to Graceland's, she was hoping that he would want to settle down, hoping that he would sort of slow down, calm down. But he wasn't ready for marriage or engagement or children. He was a rock and roll star. He was enjoying the fruits of fame. So people do talk about Priscilla and Elvis as if they were tied together from age 14 in 1959. It's not true. She hadn't seen Elvis for a few years. Eventually in 62, she starts visiting, yeah? So that must have been tough for Priscilla to live at Graceland, knowing that Elvis basically lived like a single man. But she did choose that. She knew what she was doing. When she moved from a humble home in Germany, that obviously her parents were in the forces. She was moving in with a rock and roll star. Yeah, the most famous man on the planet. All women adored Elvis. So she sort of knew what she was getting into. I definitely don't class them as a proper couple until they get engaged in 66 December. So that must have been tough for Priscilla. I'll give her that. But she did know what she was getting into.
Priscilla Presley was deeply affected by his relationship with Anne Margaret. It led to a lot of feelings, jealousy, and eventually dissatisfaction. Priscilla...
And that is what he's just said there. That is very well known. Priscilla has to see it in the tabloids, the magazines, the news clips. Elvis obviously tried to play it down, but the truth is, sparks were flying. The truth is, there was something happening between Anne Margaret and Elvis. Again, it just tells me that Elvis was not ready to settle down.
Priscilla was well aware of how well Elvis and Anne Margaret got along, which had been widely reported. She lost all sense of safety when she found out about their affair. In her book, Elvis and Me, Priscilla wrote about how upset she was when she found out Elvis had been cheating on her. Priscilla felt uncertain and worried about her place in Elvis.
I mean, did she find out Elvis was cheating? I mean, he's just said Priscilla became worried when she found out Elvis was cheating. I don't think she ever knew, did she? Did Elvis ever admit it? I don't know. Did he? You tell me, guys. Maybe in some books he has. I've heard reports of both, that he did admit it. I've also heard reports that he just tried to play it down. So put it in the comments, please, guys. Remember, I am no expert. I'm learning as I go. I learn from Team Elvis.
His life after the affair. Being married to one of the most famous men in the world was already hard on her, and finding out that he had been cheating on her made...
So, okay, there's a confusion of facts here. As Josie says, and as I remembered, they weren't married. So they weren't married at the time of the making of Viva Las Vegas. Now, we know that they both got married quite quickly. I think within a week from each other. It was a sudden marriage. Is this part of this video now, has it jumped forward a few years to when they're both married? Let's see what happens.
Made her feel even worse about herself. Priscilla always felt like she had to fight for Elvis's attention, both with other women and with his busy work schedule. As time...
I will say that, of course, any woman with Elvis would have had that problem, fighting for his attention, because the amount of attention that Elvis got, women literally falling at his feet. And he got this wherever he went, till the day he died, guys.
Time went on in their marriage. Priscilla felt more and more alone. Elvis's busy touring routine meant that he wasn't always at home. This meant that she had to mostly take care of the house and raise their daughter Lisa Marie by herself.
Right. Okay. So this is where we get into the fake Elvis channel mode. Now, when I find that these YouTube channels, they start leaning and blaming everything on Elvis. Now, they've just said that she was left alone to bring up Lisa Marie and do everything, take care of the home. Elvis was off working, making his movies, obviously in the 60s. It isn't as straightforward as that, guys. Because obviously Elvis had his commitments. He had to go off and make 2-3 movies a year. But remember, they were fully staffed. Everything was done for Priscilla. And there were nannies. Priscilla had a lot of freedom to go off and do whatever she wanted. This is why she had dance lessons when she was unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, in 1968, around March. Eventually, the karate lessons with Mike Stone, the karate champion, where she's unfaithful again around 1970-71. So this is where the story starts to take a turn where it's not fair to Elvis. Yeah. I personally think Elvis, through the pregnancy, was with Priscilla as much as possible. I think once Lisa Marie was born, Elvis was with her as much as possible. He a converted coach, bus, and he would, as soon as filming finished, he would get straight back to Priscilla. He really loved being a father. He really wanted to be home with his family. So remember, Priscilla, whilst Elvis is back and forth, she is being unfaithful. She is being unfaithful. Months after Lisa Marie was born, Priscilla is unfaithful. In 1968, around a year after the marriage. So it's pretty bad, guys.
Missed each other and felt ignored and unappreciated during this time apart. Afterward, she talked about...
So remember, I have to keep jumping in here. She felt ignored and unappreciated. But hang on a minute. Her affections were elsewhere. Obviously with the Steve Peck, the dance instructor, where she's admitted it on page 262 of this fake Elvis book, this fake fairy tale, where she admits that while she was with Elvis at home, she was thinking about the dance instructor, Steve Peck, the guy who owned a dance studio. So her affections were somewhere else. Yeah, I could say that she had changed towards Elvis. I could say the same words, how Elvis felt. Maybe Elvis felt unwanted, unloved. So it isn't straightforward because remember, Priscilla is having an affair with the dance instructor.
About how she would wait by the phone for hours, hoping to hear from him while he was elsewhere.
Or she would be with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, having sex. Come on, guys.
His rising dependence on prescription drugs made things even more difficult.
Right, here we go. This is where it all leans. This is why we're called Defending Elvis. His rising dependence on prescription drugs. Now, I will never, ever say that Elvis didn't have a problem with prescription drugs. I would never do that. He was so unwell. He was very ill, very sick, chronically unwell. Yes, there were problems with sleeping, with waking up, with relaxing, with energy levels because he was overworked. But this man did need his medication. This man did turn to his doctors. He was desperately unwell. He was getting sicker and sicker as we got into the into the 70s. So remember, I would say Elvis was more reliant on his prescribed medication, the medicine that his doctors gave him, his doctor gave him, his nurses, his pharmacists. After about 73, I think we see the signs something is wrong. But remember, in 73, Elvis was like 37. Yeah. Now you look at the 68 comeback special. I think Elvis doesn't look unwell at all at that point. Now he always had insomnia. He probably did need uppers to wake him up, to give him energy for work because he was overworked. But the mistake people make is that they talk about Elvis like he was really sick his whole life. That's not fair. That's not fair. We see the signs of how unwell he was after 72, 3, yeah? You start to see, I would say 3, 4, actually. But this will make it sound like he was sick, popping pills his whole life. It's not fair.
In their marriage. He became more and more crazy and unpredictable, which made it hard for Priscilla to feel personally connected to him. She said she felt more like a carer than a partner.
So she said she felt more like a carer than a partner. Now, is this in the book? Is this in the book? I've read that in Linda's book. Let me get Linda's book. I've read in Linda's book. Linda felt more like a carer than a partner. I do see Linda was with Elvis after he split up from Priscilla. I think he saw other people as well, but Linda was quite a steadfast partner that he had after Priscilla. They had their problems. So are we getting a mixture of different books to create this storyline? Because this is an artificial intelligent AI video, yeah? Beautifully made when it comes to the pictures and the videos, but the facts are mixed up. The facts are mixed up. So please leave in the comments where you think this interview, even though it's AI, is incorrect.
Because she had to deal with his mood swings and make sure he was healthy. Both of them were under a lot of stress because of their fame, but Elvis seemed to get more and more out of control while Priscilla tried to find steadiness. There was a big cloud over Elvis and Priscilla.
You see, where Priscilla tries to find steadiness, we know what went on. We know, don't we, guys? The Steve Peck affair, when Lisa Marie was just 3 months old. The karate champion affair, Mike Stone, around 1970-71, that was secretly going on for a year before it was discovered. And she eventually runs off with poor Lisa Marie, dragged away from her father, forced to live with a stranger by Priscilla, by the way. Let's keep going, guys.
Priscilla's marriage because of Margret. They got married with high dreams for their future together, but things turned out very differently. Elvis had...
See, it's a bit mixed up, isn't it, guys? They got married with high dreams. It's jumping back and forth. Yeah, obviously it mentions the prescribed medication, but it's also, it's confusing because we're like, obviously they were engaged and they were married. Then there was the birth of Lisa Marie. So it's jumping back and forth a bit.
Had affairs with other women besides Margret. He was known for having many during their marriage. People didn't try...
Well, do you know what? He was known for having many during the marriage. What the research I've done, and I'm no expert, is, of course, leading up to the engagement. Elvis, 100% seeing different people. We could name a few, couldn't we? They weren't engaged. They weren't married. They didn't have any kids. Elvis wasn't ready to settle down. Many people feel Elvis was pressured to settle down by Priscilla's parents, by Colonel Tom Parker, maybe Vernon. Who knows? My point is, who Elvis was seeing. I personally, this is my view, that once Elvis committed to the engagement in '66, December, around that time, he said, right, that's it. I'm going to try and be faithful and loyal. They get married very quickly. There's obviously lots of different opinions on, was Elvis forced to get married? Was he pressured into get married? Many people know that certain people have said that Elvis definitely did not want to get married. I think one was the cook. Then I think we had Marty Lacker. I think even Lamar Fike said it. Was Elvis forced to get married? What do you say, guys? Put it in the comments. One thing I do believe, he wasn't ready to get married. So I've always thought, once they did get married, a very public marriage, beamed around the world, the whole world was watching this marriage, TV, tabloids, magazines, etc. I do think Elvis made a commitment to be faithful after the marriage, especially she got pregnant so quick. She did not lose her virginity to him on the night of the wedding. That's another lie. Lisa Marie has said in her book, From Here to the Great Unknown, that Elvis and her were having sex from age 18. So there's a massive lie here being told again and again by Priscilla Presley. So in my opinion, for entertainment purposes, I believe Elvis was faithful and loyal through the pregnancy. Of course, Elvis was still going away making his movies and getting back as quick as he could. I actually think when Lisa Marie was born, I think 1st of February 1968, I think Elvis really wanted to be a good father. Of course, Lisa Marie was the most important thing that had ever happened to him. She was the most important thing to him in the world, more than anything. So Elvis took it very seriously being a father. So do I think Elvis was unfaithful after Lisa Marie was born? Not at first. Not at first. I don't.